These images are a combination of events that took place in 2012, some of the times that we've used our public squares. We do have the most extraordinary public squares in the city. The four squares of our title, Oozells Square in Brindleyplace, Centenary Square, Chamberlain Square and Victoria Square, are all spaces that look great when art is in them. They look great without art, but they look even better when art is taking place in them. And they show that art activity off to the very best. And so in thinking about how the arts organisations of Birmingham would respond to and celebrate the opening of the Library of Birmingham, all of those things were taken into consideration in creating Four Squares Weekender. The organisation behind this event, Birmingham Arts Partnership, is a collection of the 14 major arts organisations of the city, and they've collaborated on a scale never seen before to create Four Squares Weekender. I'm joined by Debbie Commode, the Deputy Director of Icon Gallery, who's going to talk about Oozells Square in Brindleyplace, by Richard Hawley, who's the Director of Arts Programming at Town Hall Symphony Hall, who's going to talk about Centenary Square, by Mukhtar Dar, who's the Director of Arts and Marketing at the Drum, who will talk about Chamberlain Square, and finally, Stuart Rogers, Executive Director here at the Rep, will talk about Victoria Square.
Okay, so your journey's going to start off on Oozells Square, directly outside the Icon Gallery, and you're going to find a ton of clay. You're going to be able to roll up your sleeves, get involved, and make an enormous clay city. And if that's too messy for you, you can pop into the Icon, because we're just about to launch our new summer show, exhibition by Japanese artist Shimabuku. Very playful, lots of interactive things to do. And dispersed throughout the weekend, we'll be hosting BCMG, Birmingham Contemporary Music Group, who'll be doing new experimental sound works in and around our wonderful spaces at Icon. And travelling down through into Brindleyplace, you'll come across Piff Paff. And they're an aerial, fantastic, very intricate aerial company who'll be doing work within that wonderful amphitheatre at Brindleyplace. And they're commissioned by Mac Birmingham, really terrific, very high quality work. And alongside that space will be Sampad, again making new work, a large dance piece combining traditional and contemporary dance. Will look fantastic within that architectural space. But we won't let you off site straight away. We're going to, hopefully, you'll detour towards the canal, because outside, moored outside the Sea Life Centre, you'll find Icon's Slow Boat. It's a floating gallery. It's going to be a floating artwork, actually, because we've invited Thai artist Narvan Roundshackle to come and decorate it. It's going to be really brightly coloured, very ornate. It's going to feel like it's sailed directly from the heart of Bangkok to Birmingham. So you'll be able to hop on board and meet the artist and meet a lot of young people who have helped Narvan to design that boat. So we're really excited by that. But I'm sure sooner or later the spirit of adventure will take you across the bridge, through the ICC and into Centenary Square.
Thank you, Deb. Where right from the glass front of Symphony Hall all the way through to the bridge into Paradise Circus will be full of music and storytelling and drama and young families. Probably the biggest change that you will see will be the space out the front of Symphony Hall will be landscaped to echo the new gardens out the front of Library of Birmingham. This will be a massive musical picnic over both days, aimed at bringing the very best of jazz and folk and classical music and storytelling to young families. We'll be working with many groups, some of whom will then break off and then roam around the city as well. The City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, instead of being in its entirety, will fragment. You'll find them popping up in small ensembles all over the space, not least of which will be the amphitheatre here at the library, where also the Birmingham Opera Company will be performing as part of their Mussorgsky cycle. And Ex Cathedra will be performing in spaces throughout the library as well. And then there's a big theatre event which is called Secret Drama Event, and I'd love to tell you about it. It's organised by the rep, but I'm not going to because it's a big secret. But the City of Birmingham Symphony Chorus will actually be performing on the bridge, and that will take us right through Paradise Circus into Chamberlain Square, which Mukhtar will show.
When you come into Chamberlain Square, you'll hear the sounds of live music and you will see some fantastic dance. And the whole square will be buzzing with a live vibe. We're going to have the very best of reggae artists bringing you messages of peace, love and unity. Local reggae artists, national reggae artists will come together and present a strand which we'll call Reggae Vibes, Reggae Splash. After this, the second strand will be South Asian artists, folk singers, musicians, ball players, and they will take you on a musical, spiritual journey as part of a strand which is called Sufi Musical High. Then you will witness the sheer raw energy of young people in our communities and who will be MCs, scratch DJs and breakdancers, and they will present contemporary urban music in a strand which will be called Hip Hop Till You Drop. These three strands will be specially choreographed and brought together by the Drum Art Centre, and the artists will be selected from our flagship festival, the Simmerdown Festival. The Simmerdown Festival pays tribute to the diverse communities of Birmingham who have contributed to making Birmingham an international global city. After all of that, then on the square you will have an amazing dance choreographed piece which Paul was telling me about by Dance Exchange, and this is about people who work in different work environments, and they'll be choreographed into this amazing dance piece, and that will be presented on the stage. Also, Mac Midlands Art Centre will be presenting some dance demonstrations and workshops, and then over at the Waterhall there's going to be some screening of films, and the films will be short films and long films that will be organised by the Flat Pack Film Festival. And then at the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, there'll be a whole range of workshops for you to take part in. The Museum and Art Gallery will be open over the 2 days, and extended opening hours, and it will also open its cafe to welcome you all. And then I'm going to pass you over to Stuart.
Thank you. If you come into Victoria Square during the daytime, the key word really is participation, because both Birmingham Royal Ballet and Dance Exchange will be running a whole series of dance workshops throughout the weekend. And also the Hippodrome will be presenting No Fit State Circus. They will not only be performing in Victoria Square over the weekend, but also giving practical workshops, giving everybody a chance to see what it's like to run away and join the circus, for a weekend at least. If you come into Victoria Square in the evening, however, the square is transformed, because it then becomes the site of the single biggest event of the whole weekend, which is Wired Aerial Theatre's spectacular performance of As the World Tipped, some of the images of which you'll see behind us here. This is a huge scale performance that will happen late in the evening when it gets dark, involving video, sound, dancers and aerial artists. We've given you there a flavour of each of the squares, but there's also a huge amount of activity that will be crossing across the squares and happening in the bits that join the squares as well. One of them in particular I'll just bring to your attention is the Rep's own production of a show called Eat, which will be staged in 4 separate specially designed caravans, one of which will be in each square, and you'll be able to walk between the caravans, and there'll be a rolling programme of performances in them, which are performances based on the research we've done into Birmingham community members' relationships with food. So it's a whole food theme. Supporting that food theme, and across all the squares, there's going to be a food market using the best of Birmingham food suppliers. That will be running across the weekend. And then there's all sorts of other activities that you'll pop up. You won't know whether it's happening or whether it's real or what it is. There's going to be a lot of performance art, a lot of dance, a lot of theatre that just pop up and happen in various spaces. All of the events over the weekend are being coordinated, managed and run by staff of the 14 Birmingham Arts Partnership organisations. But we're also giving a chance for local people to get involved, and we're currently recruiting 80 volunteers to help with the weekend. And we're hoping that will then become a basis of a volunteer body that will help develop and work with us all on the arts and the infrastructure of the arts in the future in Birmingham.
Thank you, Debbie, Richard, Mukhtar and Stuart.